Hello, everyone. This is my friend Casey. He is an organizer of the community that attends a bar each Sunday, and I come here each Sunday. Casey, can you tell something about this place?
Yeah, well, first of all, we want to say a big welcome to Sonia because she's such an active member of our group. And we really rely on having such friendly and outgoing, clever people like Sonia because she contributes a lot to the atmosphere. As an organizer, it's our job to find a venue, meaning like a restaurant or a club, where we can meet every week and to promote it on social media, on mostly on Telegram, but also on Facebook and WhatsApp. So that's what we can do as administrators and organizers. But what really makes the atmosphere, it's the people who come and what they can contribute to our event. Yeah. So we're really thankful for Sonia and her contribution. By the way, guys, like if you don't know Sonia in person, she really is a kind and cheerful person, and I never saw her in a bad mood or given any bad vibes. So we really appreciate people like that.
Well, me neither. I've never seen Casey in bad mood. He is always cheerful. He's always kind. He's always welcoming and friendly to every person I bring to this place. That's why I bring them still, because I have many friends. And I want to say that I came to this place when I felt like really at my lowest. It was like almost 2 years ago in autumn of 2024. I needed some place to socialize, and I wanted to practice English and French and maybe Chinese right now. So I found the place. I found the place on the internet, and somehow it turned out to be such a good place to make friends, to come here each Sunday, and I never get tired of it. So, Casey, how did you organize such a good community of interesting people from all around the world?
I have a long history of organizing events with different organizers. So there were quite a few different organizers before 2020 who I was cooperating with. And one of them is a guy named Juan. He's from Spain. And he's actually the original founder of this community. But after 2021, there was some different circumstances in the world, and he decided to go back to Spain for a while. But because I used to we made some Saturday night events and parties, not as much focused on language, but just focused on socializing of foreign people. And Juan knew that I had worked together with him. We made some really big events and parties. Back then on a Saturday night, we had a couple parties where there was more than 1,000 people in our party.
1,000 people, that's too much.
It was really crazy. And the managers even came and said that in the whole history of their venue, they never had a bigger party or bigger event where people actually stayed for 6 hours. They said it's one thing if you can get 1,000 people to come for an hour and they come in and out, but they said your people, they're really engaged and they're really communicating. So fortunately, when Juan went back, he asked me if I would join the administrative team. My main responsibility is to communicate with the managers of different venues where we might go. So before we started meeting in this venue, I made like a list of 20 different venues where we could go. And then I shared it with the other organizers, and we narrowed it down to about 5 different venues where I went in person and I met with the managers. And then the other organizers talked with me and we agreed to come here.
Yeah, that's great. By the way, I wanted to mention that this place is free of charge. So this place never charges us like nothing. People don't pay. We can buy, some drinks if you want, but if you don't, it's also okay. So I wanted to ask you, was it difficult to find places to organize these parties every Sunday, like at the first place?
I think originally it was a bit difficult, but now we have such a big chat group on Telegram that has almost 5,000 people. So the main challenge that we had when we came here is that the managers, this venue was always closed on Sunday nights. And so we had to try to convince them to open, especially for our group. But because our chat group has almost 6,000 people, we said, look, if you just give us a place, we can bring a lot of good customers. And they told us they need something around equivalent of $2,000 per night. Otherwise, they will lose money and they wouldn't welcome us back. So we had to kind of promise them that we hope and believe we can get enough customers where they will earn a sufficient amount of money that they won't be losing profit with all their staff and with all the electricity being on and everything. So the first Sunday was a really big risk. And that's why I really encouraged everybody I knew personally. I said, guys, please come. Make sure the first week is a success. Otherwise, we might not be welcomed back. But once the managers saw how many people we brought, they were really happy. And as you said, we don't require anybody to order food or
Sure.
drinks. So, of course, we like it if they do because it helps the managers of the venue to say, okay, this is a good business decision. It's not just for fun. But we have an attitude like if 100 people are here or 150 people, at least 10% of them are going to order something, probably more, maybe 50%. And that way, if somebody comes and they don't like it and they want to leave, they're free to come in and free to go. So that's how it goes usually.
That's really awesome because I've never seen such a community, such a place where you can come like regularly without any charge, and where there are so many welcoming people. And I wanted to ask you, for how many years have you been organizing this party?
Well, the original founder, Juan, who went back to Spain, he started this group almost 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
So at that time, I wasn't one of the organizers. I was just a participant. By the way, I can give a little bit of information if your viewers would be interested.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So,
Really nice.
I lived in many parts of Europe, and whatever part of the world you live in, if you live in a big city, most restaurants, bars, and clubs would be interested to have an event organizer. If you come and talk to them and tell them that you have a group, you should start a group in advance, obviously, if you want to make your event. But in most countries, most owners and managers of clubs and restaurants, they're used to a system where if you have a weekly event or even a monthly event, they will eventually start to give you 10% of all the sales from the food and drinks. And even in a city like London, there are certain bars which might be very busy on Friday, but not busy at all on Saturday. And it's really weird the way that happens. But the places they know that, okay, we have a Friday after work like clientele, but on Saturday, we're not very busy. And we would love it if somebody who has a community will bring people to our venue. So that's just something for people to keep in mind in case they have any ideas about organizing their own events.
Thank you, Casey, for this information. I think you're such a good manager, to be honest, because you've been managing this party like really, really successfully. And I wanted to just ask you, like, you've been in this community for 12 years. This period, what most like challenges have you encountered, and what benefits did this community bring you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think like the biggest benefit is social. Obviously, like I met you here, I met a lot of other cool people here. I get to see a lot of people at their best when they're in a good mood, and I just have a much bigger social circle. Also, when I commit to be here every week, it kind of forces me to go out and meet new people, even if maybe I have a week when I feel like staying home, but I kind of force myself. And then I go and I meet a few new people and I say, oh, I'm really glad I didn't stay home because I would never have met this person. Hypothetically, you can make some money, as I said, but the problem is that a lot of owners or managers of different venues will kind of promise this approximately 10%. And then they'll decide for some reason that they don't want to pay it, or they'll promise, like, okay, we're going to start that next week or next month. So that's why I think some people who do this with the goal to make money, they could be disappointed. But if your goal is to have an active social life, and then maybe you're going to get a little bit of money down the road, then that's great. Also, I didn't mention, but when I was trying to get money from events, I would I would buy prizes. I would give tickets to different kind of, like there's a Formula One race team. We got tickets and even live training they would do for our people. We made like a raffle. We had a race team came and parked their cars out in front and let people take photos and put hashtags on their photos. And so I really try to make some unique events that people would remember and have a good time.
And you actually succeeded in it, because I wanted to tell you that lately I started to participate in and like looking for some parties for other events. They're not just like related to languages, just some parties like in clubs or other things. And I buy tickets, I go there, they give some stuff, they give some presents, and I never feel satisfied. I never want to come back. I don't know why. I just don't feel the vibe. And here I come each Sunday. So yes, maybe money is not like the main thing.
Yeah, it really helps if you have at least a few people who are really committed to make sure that people feel welcome. Because I was really disappointed when I would hear from certain events that people came there one time, they didn't meet anybody interesting, and they left and said, I'm never going to come back. So for some people, just one boring event or one bad night, it's enough for them to say it's like right off, and I tried it and I'm not going to try it again. So it's not completely in our control, But if somebody comes here and they meet you and they meet me and we introduce them to 2 or 3 other people, it means that they know if they come back, they're going to see at least one familiar person in the crowd. And that's a good thing, I think.
Well, thank you for watching it. Thank you, Casey, for telling everything about this place and keeping organizing this community, these parties. I really appreciate it. And I think that other friends of mine also do appreciate it. So
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. Guys, I'm a really big fan of Sonia in real life, so I do recommend you to keep watching and following her content. I think it's going to be interesting. I'll be watching too, and I'll look forward to some interesting videos from you in the future.
yeah. See ya.
Bye-bye.